this video, we're going to practice finding the sum and the difference of two polynomials. Now, the trick to adding and subtracting polynomials is really to make sure that you're putting things with the same degree together. So you're combining like terms. Let's take a look at our first example here. Now we're going to be performing the indicated operation, and then we're going to make sure that we write our results in standard form. So if we look at A, we have a polynomial 5x to the third minus 7x squared minus 3 plus the polynomial 3x to the third plus 2x squared minus x plus 8. So because we have a plus sign here, we don't have to worry about distributing it because that would make it so that all of the symbols stay the same anyways. So we're just going to do some simple adding. So we're going to look and find our like terms. So here I see I have a degree 3 and a degree 3. Here I see that I have an x squared. And here I see I have an x squared. Here I see that I have a plain number. Here I have a plain number. And then here I have just a plain x. So now I'm going to put those pieces together. Remember that this whole time we are adding these together. So I want to know what is 5x to the third plus x to the third. So 5 plus 1 is 6x to the third. And now I'm done with that one. I don't have to worry about it anymore. So let's go to our purples. So I have a negative 7 and a positive 2. So that should give me a negative 5. And those were x squareds. And now that I'm done with those, I can cross them off because I'm finished. And now we're to our blues. So I have negative 3 plus 8, which is a positive 5. And we're done with those. So there's no more. And I only have the one orange thing, so I can just write that down. And I'm done. So now we need to remember that we need to write this in standard form. So I'm going to find my largest degree, which is the third, and write that first. So 6x to the third. And then the next degree, minus 5x squared. And then my next degree, minus x. And lastly, my number. And so now we have the sum of those two polynomials written in standard form. And we're finished with that problem. Now subtraction can be a little bit trickier. So what we're going to do there is we are going to need to distribute our negative sign to each piece. Now our first polynomial isn't going to change. So we can just go ahead and we can rewrite that down. And by distributing, we now have a negative 3x to the fourth and a positive 4x squared and a negative 3x. And remember that while we're doing this, we are going to be combining like terms, or in other words, we're adding. And now we can do this problem the same way we just did our addition problem, by finding the terms that match. So I'm going to see if there's any terms with a 4 as the exponent, and there's one right here. And then I'm going to look and see if I can find any x squareds, and I found one right here. And I'm going to go and look and see if I can find any x's, and there's one there. And looks like I have one other thing, so a whole number, and I don't see any other plain integers or numbers without a variable. So I think that we're ready to rewrite this, or to add them up rather. So let's do our green ones first. So 7x to the fourth plus negative 3x to the fourth. So really, what's 7 plus negative 3? So here we have a 4x to the fourth. And now that that one is done, the green is done, we can cross it off and get it out of our way. And we can move on to our purple term. Here we have a negative x squared plus a 4x squared. So we're thinking, gosh, what is negative 1 plus 4? And that answer is 3. So 3x squared. And now that term is done. And now we come to our blue term. So we have negative 4x plus negative 3x. So we're asking ourselves, what is negative 4 plus negative 3, which is negative 7x? And now that that term is done, we can cross it off. And it looks like we just have the lone orange again. So we're going to write down our plus 2. And now we need to check it to see if we need to write it in standard notation. So if we look at this, we see that the highest degree is a 4, and that came first. And then the next degree is the x squared, and then the x, and then no variable. So this is actually already in standard notation form. And so it's just great when that happens. So that is how you can add and subtract polynomials together.